Hi everyone, I hope this finds you having a fantastic Friday. You know, even though it's been well over a year since we first heard of the Chris Watts case, I, like many of you, still have a lot of questions, even about things that have been discussed really ad nauseum on other true crime channels. But when something doesn't sit right with me, I'll go back and review it and review it and review it until I feel satisfied that I have an answer. And so my topic today is Shanann's friend, Nicole Atkinson. Oh, I'm sure this is going to stir a lot of drama. But please don't misunderstand. I don't want to and never will discount the value of a good friend. In today's world, they are very hard to find. And I am fortunate to have a friend who is really more like my sister that I've known since we both were 6 years old, and we're very close. I know that if something were to happen to either one of us, we would be on the front line trying to help either find the other or catch the culprit that hurt us. And it seems on the surface that Shanann had such a close friend in Nicole Atkinson. So, as I was saying, when something doesn't sit right with me, I'll go back and review it to find the answers that I might have missed. So I went back all the way to day one and started re-watching this entire case. I figured with fresh eyes and ears, I might pick up something that I had missed the first go-round. If I told you how many times I watched the Jodi Arias police interrogation tapes and parts of her trial, you might think I was nuts. So after rewatching the first day, there are still a few things that I questioned the first time that I still find myself questioning the second time. Firstly, I'm struck by the fact that Nicole is very quick to call the police and the doctor's office, etc. So this brings me to ask, why would you become so hyper worried? She tells the police that her friend hasn't answered her phone or hasn't answered her text messages, missed her doctor's appointment, wasn't feeling well, the couple talked about divorce. And then I think to myself, while others are basically hailing her a hero, I'm sitting here wondering why she became so hyper-vigilant. I'm not saying that it was not a good thing, but what was behind that? I have to tell you, if I started calling the police every time I couldn't reach my friend, they would think I was like nuts. Now, going back to my friend, if I call and text her and she doesn't answer immediately, I figure she's away from her phone or her cell phone died and it's charging and she can't use the phone, or she's really busy and she'll get back to me when she can. And especially if she's not feeling well, I'm thinking she's getting much needed rest she needs to feel better. And if she needs something, I know she will call me or her family will. But I have to tell you, neither one of us is rushing over to the other person's home because we haven't gotten returned phone calls or text. Instead, we would call our respective husbands. And it seems that's what Nicole had done. She called Chris. And we all know Chris told her that Shanann and the girls had gone on a play date. Now, we know it's untrue, but at the time, why did she have any reason to doubt that story? Right? And he also told her that he was on his way home. So why did she feel the need to call the police? I mean, he's the husband, and, she probably should have let him get to the house and look around, and then they could have discussed it. I'm just thinking in the normal, average setting. I don't see somebody just calling the police because someone has not responded to them immediately. So to me, what she did was she convinced herself, and perhaps was trying to convince others, that Chris was responsible for Shanann and the girls' disappearance. But why did she feel this way? Was it that woman's sixth sense that we all have? I don't know. But I don't recall hearing once prior that Chris was an abusive man. Oh, sure, Shanann told her friends that there were some marital problems and, he had become distant, but that doesn't automatically make him a murderer, does it? Did she tell her friends or family that he was hurting her or the children, or that she was in fear for her or her children's lives? I don't recall hearing that either. And then secondly, when Chris got home and let the police in, there was Nicole and her son walking around the house, oftentimes in front of the police. Now let me remind you, no one except Chris knew what had happened to Shanann and the girls. What if there was a madman inside the house holding Shanann and the girls hostage? Let me tell you, if I'm at my girlfriend's house, I'm walking behind the police. I figured they're best equipped to handle such a situation. And then you see her rummaging through Shanann's things, going into rooms unaccompanied, and her son ruffling through the couch, because apparently he found Shanann's phone either between the cushions in the couch or underneath, and even the policeman seemed to question what made him look there. I mean, who looks under the cushions of someone's couch? And while on that topic, to me at least, Nicole seemed to be able to take inventory of what was in Shanann's purse and countertops in the house quite quickly. Almost too quickly for me. But the better question is, why did the police allow her and her son unfettered access to anything and any room in that house? Had this been a potential crime scene, which we found out was, or supposedly was this not tainting the evidence? Let me know what you think in the comments.